Hey, Michaela, how you doing? I've got your work up here. I was just going through your writing. I mean, everything here makes pretty good sense. So I don't think there's any specific questions here that need to be addressed or issues that need to be addressed. So let's go ahead and jump right over to your work. Now, we've got the word map out. This is a really such a fantastic exercise in creativity, and I've kind of shared this comment with some of the other students in the class. But this exercise in creativity, this word association thing, it's just a wonderful technique to really push your creativity. I know a lot of designers and artists. Actually, I know musicians that do word association too, as far as writing lyrics about something that would be considered to be maybe a cold raccoon or a delicate cactus. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily that it's going to flesh out to a full-blown song or a full-blown design or illustration. It's just a great way to practice expeditious and direct visual communication in this case. Um, so it's just really a wonderful exercise, and one that I think that you should remember and maybe even try to employ this exercise throughout your design career. Here I am, almost 30 years into my career, and I still do these word association exercises. Really fantastic stuff. Your elevator pitch is great. Really great job. That's just really basically, guys, those of you who are watching along, this is an elevator pitch right here. This is your pitch. It just describes very succinctly the story, as it were. And then you come back in here and really give the details. Um, from there, we kind of had take a weird turn in the presentation because the presentation asks for sketches. And anytime you see the word sketches, um, Michaela, anytime you see the word sketches, you want to remember that that typically means traditional pencil to paper. These sketches here are I would not recommend digital sketches. Number one, it takes a long time to do. Number two, you can't change on the fly like you can in sketching. So, for example, if this were your sketch, okay, and I would say one of my comments here is you don't have all the characters listed in this composite, and so we would need the squirrel and the other characters associated with the story, right? So in order to adjust this sketch, you would have to really kind of go back into the digital file, etc. Instead of just grabbing your pencil and just adding a squirrel. Or do you see what I'm saying? It's really, really important. Plus, I'm a little confused as to the direction here because this is raster image processing, meaning that we're working primarily with bitmap raster images through the entirety of this course. So these kind of vector backgrounds and vector sketches and vector illustrations won't work in this class and won't work for this project. You would need actual photographs. That's what compositing is all about. So you would actually have to find a photograph of a unicorn. Now, we know unicorns don't exist, right? So you would have to find, you'll find plenty of fantasy photographs of unicorns. So, I mean, you could possibly even have to composite a horn onto a horse. So just as long as you understand that this is not a vector illustration class, so vector illustrations won't count. They're no good for the assignment. I'm not sure. You're probably specifically aware of that. I have a feeling that this is just kind of the way you presented your sketches. So that said, I would recommend whenever you see the word sketch, think of traditional sketching techniques. Now, as I did say, you have a couple of characters that you have introduced. You have Bruce and Adrian, and then you have the squirrels, and you have Bubbles the raccoon. So you have a lot of characters here that are not introduced or even really considered in your initial sketches. I think it's really important that you have of course, the main character, the unicorn, and then the antagonist, the squirrel. That's really important, but I think you want to as much tell a story without explicitly trying to tell a story. You kind of want to tell a story with your composite work, and that is the value of narrative in image making. And I think it's something that's really, really important to understand. If we come over to week 2, we can see this presentation, narrative plots through image making, and that is really, really important. That's kind of what we're after here. So my recommendation here is to submit traditional sketches and really take those sketches and try to introduce the characters that are playing a role in the story. And then, of course, traditional sketches. So we wouldn't want to use any kind of vector sketches throughout the duration of this class. So keep that in mind. The setup is great, good word association, great elevator pitch, good overview, and then the sketches I think are good. I mean, they show some good ideas, but again, just keep in mind the comments I made on those sketches. So you're free to move forward in the direction that you feel has the most potential. But again, keep in mind this is raster imaging. This is bitmap imaging. So you're going to be using actual masks, layer masks, and composite techniques in the compilation of the cinematic poster. So please keep that in mind. Pretty important stuff. And honestly, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications before we move forward. All right, good start. Thank you very much.